What's going on, everyone? Today's deep dive is all about Backconnect Proxy explained, how rotating gateways work. I'm going to walk you through everything step by step, so by the end of this, you'll have a really solid understanding. Let's go. Understanding and implementing Backconnect Proxy explained is essential for developers and data professionals working with proxies in 2026. This comprehensive guide covers everything from core concepts to advanced configuration, complete with code examples and best practices. This brings us to what is Backconnect Proxy explained. A Backconnect Proxy explained refers to the technology and configuration needed to route traffic through proxy servers for this specific use case. Whether you're building automated scraping pipelines, managing multiple accounts, or collecting data at scale, understanding how Backconnect Proxy explained works gives you a significant advantage. Key benefits of properly configured Backconnect Proxy explained. To start with, IP rotation, distribute requests across multiple IPs to avoid rate limiting. Also, geo-targeting, access content from specific regions and countries. Additionally, anonymity, protect your identity and infrastructure from detection. On top of that, reliability, maintain consistent connections even under heavy load. And finally, scalability, handle thousands of concurrent requests efficiently. Let's shift gears and discuss how Backconnect Proxy explained works. At its core, Backconnect Proxy explained operates by intercepting outbound HTTP or HTTPS requests and routing them through an intermediary server. This process involves several key components. First, request interception. Your application sends a request, which is captured by the proxy client or configuration layer. Second, proxy routing. The request is forwarded to the proxy server, which may apply rotation logic, authentication, and geo-targeting rules. Third, target connection. The proxy server connects to the target website using its own IP address, masking your origin. Fourth, response relay. The target's response is sent back through the proxy to your application. The next piece of the puzzle is architecture overview. A typical Backconnect Proxy explained implementation follows this flow. Here is a code example that demonstrates this in practice. Rather than reading out the exact syntax, let me describe what it does. Next up, let's cover step-by-step setup guide. Another key area to understand is prerequisites. To start with, Python 3.8 plus or Node.js 18 plus installed. Also, a proxy provider account, residential or mobile proxies recommended. Additionally, basic understanding of HTTP protocols. Now let's talk about step 1, install dependencies. Here is a code example that demonstrates this in practice. Rather than reading out the exact syntax, let me describe what it does. I know this might sound technical, but it's actually pretty straightforward. Let's break down step 2, basic proxy configuration. Here's a minimal Python example for setting up Backconnect Proxy explained. Here is a code example that demonstrates this in practice. Rather than reading out the exact syntax, let me describe what it does. So what about step 3, implement IP rotation? Here is a code example that demonstrates this in practice. Rather than reading out the exact syntax, let me describe what it does. You might be wondering about step 4, add error handling and retries. Here is a code example that demonstrates this in practice. Rather than reading out the exact syntax, let me describe what it does. I know this might sound technical, but it's actually pretty straightforward. Moving on to advanced configuration. This might surprise you, but it's absolutely true. Here's something a lot of people overlook. Concurrent requests with ASIO. Here is a code example that demonstrates this in practice. Rather than reading out the exact syntax, let me describe what it does. Let's dive deeper into session persistence, sticky sessions. For tasks requiring the same IP across multiple requests, login flows, shopping carts, use sticky sessions. Here is a code example that demonstrates this in practice. Rather than reading out the exact syntax, let me describe what it does. Here's the thing that most guides won't tell you. Pay close attention to this next part about common issues and solutions. A really critical aspect here is issue 1, connection timeouts. Cause proxy server overloaded or target blocking connections. Solution, increase timeout values. Switch to a different proxy type. Mobile proxies have highest success rates or reduced concurrent connections. You might be wondering why this matters. Well, let me explain. Now I want to walk you through issue 2, 403 forbidden errors. Cause target website detecting proxy traffic. Solution, switch from data center to residential or mobile proxies. Use browser fingerprinting tools. Add realistic headers and delays between requests.
Alright, now let's explore issue 3, SSL certificate errors. Cause proxy MITM inspection or misconfigured HTTPS handling. Solution: ensure your proxy supports HTTPS connect method. Use the relevant code snippet in production and only disable verification for testing. Here's the thing that most guides won't tell you. One thing you definitely need to know about is issue 4, IP blocks despite rotation. Cause subnet level blocking or browser fingerprint detection. Solution: use mobile proxies from dataresearchtools.com which use carrier grade NAT and are virtually unblockable, combined with anti-detect browser profiles. Now here's an important point about performance optimization tips. First, use connection pooling. Reuse proxy connections instead of creating new ones for each request. This reduces latency by 40–60%. Second, implement request queuing. Control concurrency to avoid overwhelming proxy servers. Start with 10–20 concurrent connections and scale up. Third, cache DNS lookups. Reduce resolution time by caching DNS results locally. Fourth, compress responses. Send the relevant code snippet headers to reduce bandwidth consumption. Fifth, monitor metrics. Track response times, success rates, and bandwidth usage to identify optimization opportunities. Here's the thing that most guides won't tell you, so here's the deal with security best practices. To start with, never hardcode proxy credentials in source code. Use environment variables. Also, rotate proxy credentials regularly. Additionally, use HTTPS connections to proxy servers when possible. On top of that, implement IP allow listing on your proxy provider dashboard. And finally, monitor for unusual traffic patterns that could indicate credential compromise. Here's where things get really interesting. FAQ, Back-Connect Proxy Explained. Pay close attention to this next part about what type of proxy works best for Back-Connect Proxy Explained. Mobile proxies offer the highest success rates due to carrier-grade NAT, making them appear as regular mobile users. Residential proxies are a good balance of cost and performance. Data center proxies work for speed-critical, low-sensitivity tasks. Here's the thing that most guides won't tell you. Let's break down how many concurrent connections can I run. This depends on your proxy plan. Most residential plans support 101,000 concurrent connections. Mobile proxies typically support fewer concurrent sessions but with higher quality. Start low and scale up based on performance metrics. You might be wondering why this matters. Well, let me explain. The next piece of the puzzle is Back-Connect Proxy Explained legal? Using proxies is legal in most jurisdictions. However, what you do through them must comply with applicable laws, terms of service, and data protection regulations, GDPR, CCPA, etc. Now let's talk about Get Started today. Ready to implement Back-Connect Proxy Explained in your workflow? Data research tools. Block.com offers premium mobile and residential proxies optimized for developers. With automatic IP rotation, global coverage, and high-speed connections, our infrastructure handles the complexity so you can focus on your data. Try our proxies free and see the difference professional proxy infrastructure makes. Let me break this down for you. Alright, that's everything for today on Back-Connect Proxy Explained, how rotating gateways work. We covered a lot of ground and I really hope this gives you the foundation you need to move forward confidently. Don't forget to check out our other guides at dataresearchtools.com for more in-depth content on related topics. Until next time, take care and happy browsing.